G'day, welcome back to another video. First one for the year. Nearly 3 months in. Well, we are 3 months in. Anyway, apologies for that. Anyhow, it's done. It's all finished. The Tamiya Super Avante, finally got it finished. Pretty happy with it. I like the way it looks. As you can see, I didn't go with the box art because it just wasn't doing it for me. I have got a little bit used to it now. It looks better than when it first came out. I really didn't like it at all, but the more I look at it, the more I do like it. Who knows, maybe down the track I'll get another body and, paint it the same as that. I don't know. But in this video, I'll show you how I went through the steps to get it painted, decals and all that, and the driver. As you'll see here, got a different driver in there. And as you would have seen the montage at the beginning of the video, of course. So he's got his little joystick there to control the car instead of a steering wheel. Reason I did that was because the cockpit's so narrow he couldn't have his hands out here, so he had to bring them in, and I thought, joystick, why not? So yeah, I went with the alloy Avanti wheels from Pargu store. And a mate actually trimmed down the wheels themselves so I could fit the skinny front tyres on, or the narrow front tyres, whatever you like to call them. He actually did that on his TD4 as well. Looks really nice. So he went with the blockhead theme. So here's a couple of pictures of that for you. Check it out. I think it turned out great. So yeah, that was his idea, the skinny front wheels. So he actually put them on the lathe for me and trimmed them down, and they come up nice, as you can see. Now the tyres, I haven't glued them on yet, and they're kind of a loose fit on these wheels, but I'm thinking when I run it I probably won't even use these wheels. I might use the standard wheels or something else, I don't know. But I'll just probably keep these for the shelf. Anyway, we'll get onto it and we'll go through the steps it took to get it looking like this. If you saw my earlier video where I did the battery mod and things like that, you'll notice I had to change a bit of the wiring and stuff in this, or just push it out of the way really. So I basically pushed some of this wiring out of the way, and I cut that little bit off the steering piece there where the steering mount goes, and smoothed that up so it looks like the other part there. And yeah, the battery cable, I just push it down and tie it in with the battery and tighten that up nicely, and should be good. One thing you will notice, he doesn't have the roll bar behind his head. Really had nowhere to mount that. I thought about making a new one, but I just didn't bother. And I don't think it's too important, you know. Just don't roll it. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. It's just the standard blue PS16, I believe, if I'm right. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Certainly looks better than the box art, I think. But I know a lot of people out there do love the way it looks, so, you know, each to their own. So we'll get into it, and we'll go through the steps it took to put the driver in and paint him up. Now the first thing to do there was to cut out the window masks, and as you can see I've already got the body trimmed and all washed up, ready for paint. Now I'm going with a blue and silver or blue and chrome type theme. So the first thing to do after the window masks is to mask off everything that I don't want chrome. It's the same if you're going to do a box art with the yellow and blue. Those little black lines there I just made on the outside with a pen so I can see what I'm doing on the inside when I'm masking. So for the silver or the chrome I used the Spaztics Mirror Chrome, backed it with a gloss black. Just through the airbrush, and as you can see here, it's not real chrome looking. Kind of looks like a dark chrome, but yeah, I just went too heavy with the chrome on it, which is actually a good thing because it's going to match the MCI decals much better. But more on those later. So for the blue, I'm using PS16 metallic blue, and I'm going to back it with PS41 bright silver, and there we go. Looking pretty good, I think. So we'll check it out now without the film on. Quite liking the colour. And I'm really glad I didn't go with the blue and yellow theme. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Looking good, I think. So now time for the decals, and I'm going to use a combination of the standard decals and some of these custom ones I got made by MCI Decals. And as you can see, it's not real chrome on there, it's more of a silver, so it'll look good. So first up, I put the stickers on the wing and the wheel arches and fitted them up, and then it was onto the decals for the body. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty tidy. I left the windows in the side and the front there. I couldn't decide if I was going to fill them up or just leave them, but yeah, I think they look okay. So now it's time to get onto the driver. And I don't want to use armless Andy there, so I dug into my collection and I want to use an Avanti helmet. But I end up using a body off a Fox driver, because you'll notice the Super Avante cockpit is quite narrow, whereas on the Avanti his hands are kind of spaced quite a way apart. So I've got this Fox driver here, and I've kind of melted him off his platform. Went around with a soldering iron. It was kind of tricky. I started off cutting it off, just snipping around with the side cutters there. Yeah, it wasn't too good. It was going to risk splitting and stuff, so I just kind of went around the edges with the soldering iron and melted him off, and that's what we ended up with. Looks pretty rough now, but it gets better. Now I needed to get his arms in closer together, and of course that's going to be a bit funny with a steering wheel, so I thought, what could I do there? A joystick. Well, it is meant to be futuristic. So there we go, I made up a little joystick out of styrene. Yeah, it's very rough, but it gets better. Now for a quick test fit before I go too far. And as you notice, I had to cut out the lower part of the dashboard there, just under the gauges, because there's just no room for his hands. And I will need to move some of that wiring underneath. From there I needed to make a new platform to fit him in with. So there we go, we got the hole in the bottom so I can screw his helmet on. And I kind of filled up under his arms with a bit of styrene. Basically I glued a bit of plastic onto the bottom and then kind of went around and melted it together with a soldering iron. I did actually try a different type of platform, this one here, so it would fit the cockpit better and he can just kind of sit in there. But it was just getting too heavy and bulky and very untidy. So now the idea is I'll just use double-sided tape to hold it in. So I've got some thin stuff here, it's like sponge tape, but I'll layer it with 2 or 3 rows of a thicker tape first, like I've done here. And there you go, it's going to sit in something like that, hopefully more central, and that should be good. Still not perfect, but I think it'll be fine. Now the tape I use for spacing isn't really the spongy stuff, it's more of a solid rubber. Yeah, it's quite strong. I think you use it for door seals and things like that, but yeah, very strong. So I put 2 layers of that on and then the thinner sponge foam, so that should hold him in there nicely. Now we can get onto the paint. So for the driver paint I went with basic red, just a flat red, and blue belts, silver helmet. And I cut out some Avanti stickers just to go over his belt padding there. Thought it might look a bit nicer. And naturally I had to paint all the buttons on his joystick, so he's got a little fire button at the front. I don't know, maybe that operates his boost. And a few buttons and a couple of lights on top. So that's our Tamiya Super Avante. Now, next step, give it a run of course. Not sure when that is, but I'll have to get it out soon and give it a run. And then I've got a body here that Owen from Revive RC sent to me quite a while ago now. As you can see, he designed it all himself. This is one, the idea is so it looks more like the original Avanti. So it's got sharper, squarer lines. It's not so bulbous like this one. Yeah, I think that'll look really good. I'll work out what way the wing goes, but yeah, there's our wing. So I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link below where you can get them. And yeah, these look really good when they're fitted. So that'll be the next step. And I'll probably I'll paint that much the same theme. I may even use standard Avanti decals on it, just paint it blue. Not sure yet, but it'll definitely go blue, but as far as the decals, I'm not really sure yet. Alrighty, well that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Many of you have been asking where have I been, this and that. Well, I started a new job, and it's kind of one of those jobs, it's in the food industry. Yeah, it's basically one of those jobs where you can't really leave it. You know, you can't just turn off and go home. You run the job from the time it starts till the time it finishes, and then you go home. So yeah, if you get behind here and there, you're staying back. So there's been a lot of overtime, which is good for buying more RC cars, but you don't really get out there to use them. Anyway, that's that. So I'm hoping to get onto a few more builds and stuff pretty soon and keep the channel going, really. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully get this one out soon for a run. Catch you later.